Here's the challenge. Mix the same song with 4 different time limits. From clickbait hyperbole to tone tweaking redundancy, how much time should you really spend on a mix? Hi, I'm Robert from Learn Audio Engineering, and this week I'm taking on the challenge to mix the same song in 1 minute, 10 minutes, 1 hour, and 10 hours. Now, I'm not suggesting that it's practical to mix a song in 1 minute. I mean, you wouldn't even get to hear the whole thing. But what it does change is your priorities. So in this exercise, I have to adjust my workflow to maximize the shape of the mix overall without being critically focused on one minute detail in the mix. Let's see how I handle it with the 1 minute mix. Okay, so I'm about to do my 1 minute mix, but I've never had to mix a song before in only a minute. So I had to make a game plan. Before I actually dive in and set the timer, the first thing that I want to show you is something to do when you have a large session, regardless how it was recorded, it's probably gonna come in too hot and it's gonna be distorting the master fader. So if I just play this at the chorus for 2 seconds and we watch our master fader. Yeah, okay, right? Okay. So what we're gonna do instead is select all of our tracks. You can do this in pretty much any DAW, I'm sure. And in Pro Tools, it's a little bit finicky. You've got to press Shift Control, and then you don't push. You want to get the speaker icon, and just with 2 fingers, you just slide down. Just scroll down, and I'm gonna go down to -13.5. That's where I want to be. I am using the Browerizing method that I've talked about in a couple videos, so if you haven't seen that, definitely check that out. So besides that, I've got everything here at unity gain. I've got no panning done. Everything's either mono or stereo, and we're gonna see what happens. Now, the 3 things that I'm gonna look for, I'm gonna be removing layers. So there's a lot of stuff in here where there's a whole bunch of background vocals, or there's a whole bunch of percussion or claps or something. I'm just gonna be removing stuff that I think is unnecessary or just too much. So then after that, I'm just turning down what I think is too loud, so just volume balance, and then if I get to it, maybe a little bit of panning. Okay, so here we go. Here's 1 minute on the clock.
July night, in front of God and the fireflies. Thought it last all eternity. Every minute, every second, I keep playing it back, yeah, yeah. Stuck on the beat like an old 8-track. I give everything I got just to rewind.
Hands off, 60 seconds. Okay, woo. So that was really interesting. I found myself really wanting to pan stuff, and it's weird because, like, you know, the song really explodes in the chorus. I'm trying to anticipate what I know that I'm gonna have to turn down, and I know that there's a whole bunch more that I could be doing here. That's it. That's the 1 minute mix. All right, so we're ready for the 10-minute mix. And I'm going to make a few adjustments. To start, I'm going to use a real kitchen timer because my phone crapped out when the timer went off, so it cut out the mic. So yeah, we're going to do that. So I think I'm going to continue on the path that I was on in the 1 minute mix, creating a balance hierarchy. I might go a little bit further, do a little bit of compression and EQ, but just basically start to prioritize different elements and add some emphasis to the mix. 10 minutes. I'm fast forwarding through most of these mixes to save time because I'm basically just pushing faders around for these first 2 mixes. But if you're interested in a second video about how I approached the longer mixes, let me know in the comments. I'm also piloting a new course on priority mixing starting next week. So if you want to go deeper and learn how to create better mixes in less time, check the description below for more information on the course. I'm looking for 10 students to participate in this special pilot offer. I found that one of the biggest challenges of mixing with such a short deadline is maintaining a top-down approach. resisting the urge to waste time selecting a plugin or really worrying about the individual nuances of the instruments. Now because of this, I did my best to complete the 1 minute and 10-minute mixes with as few tools as possible, instead choosing to remove layers to simplify the mix and balance their volume and pan position the best that I could. And I still didn't pull that shaker down in the first 2 mixes. That's gonna bug me.
Every minute, every second, I keep playing it back, yeah, yeah. Stuck on repeat like I know.
And there it is, the 10-minute mix. I used a couple plugins, a EQ, a saturation knob, and a compressor. A little bit of saturation to the snare, which I don't feel actually did that much. I was looking to just bring that out. I put a LA2A onto the lead vocals just to keep them there and to have them a little bit more forward in the mix. It definitely feels more balanced. There's a little bit more nuance between the elements. There's stuff that is clearly up front and there's stuff that's clearly supporting that further back, playing more of a texture role. There's still a lot more that can be done. There was times I was really struggling with the claps. At times they're great and at other times they're just totally in the way. And without going in and automating and everything, I just chose to either have them or get rid of them. So I got rid of them on the outro. So just making still broad strokes, thinking more macro. I kind of got caught up in the snare. That's something that I'm gonna have to work on. The hour and then the 10-hour one. I think that's when we're gonna start bringing in the reference. And I know that references are really important, but if I only have 10 minutes to do something, I'm, maybe likely not gonna do that. Maybe I should. Maybe that would help a lot, but I'm gonna start using that in the hour to start calibrating something. Cool, 10-minute mix. Okay, so I'm getting ready for the 1-hour mix. I'm gonna do a couple of things differently. To start, I'm gonna bring in the reference. Now this song is from a contest that was held by Waves, and it included a mix that was done by engineer Joe West, so I'm gonna be using that as my reference, and I've got a little trick that I've set up to do that. And what I'm gonna be doing is working to establish a hierarchy of depth, establishing the main focus, the supporting elements, and then things that are more of a texture. I'm gonna go a little bit deeper into EQ, cleaning up the low end, working on vocal presence, and just general balance. I'm also going to be including a notebook so that I can write down things that catch my ears, things that I like about the reference, to inform my decisions as I go. So we're gonna start by listening to our reference. I've got a compressor here on the stereo output that lets me A/B back and forth. I did a little video about that earlier this week, so definitely check that out if you're curious. So let's start the timer, and here comes the 1-hour mix. The reference and notebook made a huge difference. Not only did the reference give me a target to shoot for, the notebook allowed me to make a to-do list before diving into a specific detail and getting lost in it, only to have to re-listen a few minutes later to plot my next move. This means that I can be more objective about what I want to achieve and then figure out a method to make it happen. Okay, so I've just been going through, listening to the reference, writing down some things that I notice, and then just going in and turning down the things that I know are gonna be too loud, and I'm just gonna need to do that. So now I'm gonna flip back to my mix. We'll listen to the first little bit of it and just start to shape it a little bit. I've kept footage of a few tricks that I've used for this 1-hour mix that you might wanna check out, but if you just wanna skip right to the end, I've also included some timestamps in the description of this video.
Gold cross hanging from a chain.
I have these 4 synths that I'm not really sure what to do with. They're definitely automated in and out throughout the song, so I'm gonna have to fader ride them. And I have the colors arranged from the darkest to the brightest. So I know the ones that are really bright, I've really got to pull them down unless they're really necessary to the song. Otherwise, they're just annoying, right? And then the warmer ones, in the reference, the pad is very much a part of the intro in the first verse. Pull up the reference and work on that.
Fireflies, thought it last long. Every minute, every second, I keep playing it back, yeah, yeah. Stuck on repeat like an old 8-track. I give everything I got just to. I only want the best for you. Don't know why I do the things I do. This whole mess is on my fault. Oh.
So that's just taking out a little bit of that 500 hertz, a little bit of that wooliness has made the vocal brighter, which is really, really sweet. So I'm going to add a little bit of de-essing as well. Shoulder, let's just punish it.
I'd give everything I got just to rewind. No sense at all.
Woo! 1 hour mix. Well, that was interesting. I definitely feel like the mix was more developed, but I also feel like at times I was biting off more than I could chew. Like I'd be going down a road and then I might come into a problem or something. Like I'm having problems with this fader port right now, and I started to use it, and then, oh, it's working, I'll get greedy and I'll try it somewhere else. And, you got to prioritize and you've got to keep yourself thinking larger picture. So I need to make sure that I should really focus on the arc of the song before I get down on like one specific thing. Having a notebook and writing down things, like giving it a listen through and not reacting right away, but just listening to everything and getting an idea for how the song flows and what sticks out at what part really makes a big difference. It's just going to give you a list of tasks to do, and it's going to make the rest of the process much easier. All right, time for the 10-hour mix. So it's time for the 10-hour mix. I'm going to be spending all day on this. We're going to be doing a full mix, getting further into EQ. I'm going to be doing a lot more fader rides and doing some specific sound design and parts in the intro and parts in the bridge. And with this long of a mixing session, I'm also going to be taking breaks. I'm going to be using the Pomodoro effect, which is one of the first videos that I put out. So let's set the first timer and get to mixing. Now by this point, I'm sure you just want to see the comparison, so I'll quickly recap what happened in the 10-hour mix. And if you want me to make a more in-depth video, please let me know in the comments. I took short breaks every 20 minutes or so. I used EQ to clean up the low end and create depth in the top end, as well as blend different instrument groups like the background vocals. I spent more time working on the Browerizing approach, tweaking the bus compressors and adding some EQ to enhance each subgroup. I automated fader rides on literally everything. I spent time designing the telephone vocal effect in the bridge. I listened to my mix on different speakers at work, on headphones, on the laptop, on a phone. I checked my mix in mono regularly, and I compared my mix to my reference a lot. So without any further commentary, here's the raw comparison between these four mixes.
Hanging from a chain on the back she engraved, may he watch over you and me. Lost innocence on a July night in front of God and the fireflies. Thought it lasts all eternity. Every minute, every second I keep playing it back, stuck on repeat like an old 8-track. I'd give everything I got just to rewind. Hit pause and apologize. I ain't proud of what I said, sure ain't proud of what I did. It don't make no sense at all. No, I only want the best for you. Don't know why I do the things I do. This whole mess is on my fault. Oh,
Stuck on repeat. Stuck on
Oh, ooh, every minute, every second I keep playing it back, yeah. Stuck on repeat like an old 8-track. I give everything I got just to rewind. Gold cross hanging from a chain, on the back she engraved, may he watch over you and me.
I hope you enjoyed this priority mixing exercise and got some new ideas to improve your workflow. I think it's really important to set limits to get more done. As stated by Parkinson's Law, your work expands to the time available for its completion. So set deadlines and be accountable for the results. This is a mindset that has kept me busy creating content and growing the channel every week this year. And if you want to get better results with your music and shift your mixing method into high gear, I invite you to check out my new course in the description of this video. I've included a one-time special introductory offer for 10 of you who want to get in on the ground floor. Thanks again for watching this video. I hope to see you in the next one, and as always, happy mixing.